everyone. I just filmed this video without the sound on, so I'm going to start again. So I'm doing a tag today. I've never done one before, so I apologise if it's a little amateur. But this one's called the Throwback Tag. I've never heard of it, but it's basically just questions about my childhood, I guess. So hopefully it'll help you to learn a little bit more about me. And I also apologise if I'm sniffling a little bit. I'm recovering from a cold. So let's get started. Okay, what year were you born in? I was born in 1992. Do you have any pictures of yourself from when you were younger? If you do, show them. I do, so I will include them now. What TV shows did you grow up watching? I really liked Arthur, and I watched Rugrats every now and then, and Fairly Odd Parents when I was a little bit older, but can't really remember anything else. Just anything that was on in the afternoon, I guess. What did you want to be when you grow up, and do you still want to be that? When I was little, I wanted to be a doctor. My mum has told me that I used to say I wanted to make medicines. I wanted to be a chemist or something, I guess, I don't know. And I also wanted to fix people. So yeah, I wanted to be a doctor. I do not want to be a doctor anymore. I could not deal with that many years of study. Now I want to be a mum. That's what I want to be. Show a video of yourself when you were younger. I don't have any videos accessible to me at the moment of my childhood. They're all on VHS still, and they're in Sydney with my parents. So I'll try and find one day maybe and share it with you guys, but I'll tell you about one that I remember. I don't actually remember this happening, but I've been told so many times that I feel like I remember it. One day when I was about 2 maybe, I was sitting on my potty and I was playing with some little Smurf figurines, you know, playing a game, talking for them, making little characters, and my dad was secretly filming me, and when I realised, I turned to him and I went, "Hey Daddy, don't you take the photo, Daddy?" So I've never lived that one down. What were your favourite toys to play with? I wasn't really attached to toys that much. I played with Barbies a little bit with my sister. I had a few dolls that I remember carrying around and some teddy bears. But mainly I had a really big imagination, and I spent a lot of my childhood in the backyard making up games. My battery just died. Okay, so yeah, I used to play lots of games in the backyard, just using my imagination as my toy, I guess. What's the most embarrassing thing you can remember doing? What have I written? Oh yes. So when I was about 5 years old, maybe younger, my family went to visit my cousin's family on their farm. We were having a picnic or something, and all the cousins, about 5 of us I think, thought it was a good idea to go down to the stream and sort of muck around, you know, play in the grass and everything. And I had 2 older cousins, a couple of years older than me, that thought it was a good idea to convince me that cow poo, as in those big dry cow pat things, tasted like chocolate. And me being a city girl, I didn't really know anything about animals and that sort of thing, so I believed them. I thought it would taste like chocolate, so I ate a little bit, and it doesn't taste like chocolate. It's really dry and powdery and flaky and tastes like dirt, I guess. So don't do that, don't eat cow poo. My parents love telling that story. Read something that you wrote when you were in kindergarten. Now, I don't know if I was in kindy when I wrote this, but I was pretty young. I decided to write a letter to God and ask him to give me some clothes and things. So here's the letter that I wrote to him and left out on my table overnight. Dear Lord God, these pictures on the other side of the paper are things I am asking you to zap into my wardrobe. It is okay if you cannot. I can buy them or make them. It is just hard to buy the shoes or definitely to make them. I love you and my family. Please praise Madison, Lachlan, Mummy and Daddy. And please help me be a good child like the last few weeks. I hope you like this picture of you and Jesus. From Anastasia, Amen. And I will include a picture here of what I drew of Jesus and God and the dress, which is on the back of the paper. Three songs you loved to listen to as a child. Okay, the first one is Drops of Jupiter by Train. My parents just played it a lot in the car and I learnt all the words and I just really love singing it. Another one is from the Pokemon soundtrack that I had as a child. I think it's called Don't Say You Love Me. I'm not sure who sang it, but it goes, don't say you love me, you don't even know me. If you really want me, then give me some time, etc. Let me know in the comments if you've heard it before. And then the third one is from the movie Anastasia. As you know, my name is Anastasia. When I was about 7, had myself convinced that I was linked to Princess Anastasia in some way and that I was actually a Russian princess who was taken from her royal family at birth and was raised by this random family. So I would often sing one of the songs that she sings in that movie about, you know, not knowing her family and hoping that there is one out there for her. And not sure what it's called, but it's when she's like traipsing through the snow on the way to St. Petersburg. Let me know if you know the song. What was one funny thing you dressed up as for Halloween when you were younger? Halloween has not really been a big thing in Australia until a couple of years ago. I never celebrated it as a child. My first Halloween was 4 years ago, and I was 17 or 18, I think. I dressed up as a slutty witch, so I'll include a picture of that for you guys. And yeah, since then I've dressed up as another witch. It wasn't so slutty. I don't think I have a photo of that. And then a vampire, and then a zombie prom girl. So I'll try and find photos of all of those if I can and show you. Tell a funny story of something you remembered happening when you were young. When I was about 14, my parents bought a property out, you know, in a rural area, and we spent an Easter out there with my grandparents and a cousin one year, and I was helping my mum doing some weeding in the garden, and I felt something crawl into my pants. Because I was crouched down on the ground, and as I stood up, it had gone down into my undies, and turned out it was a green ant, and when I stood up, it freaked out and bit me all over my bum. So I ran down the hill and behind the tent because we were camping, and like dropped my pants, and I was, you know, trying to get it out of my pants. And my brother and my cousin, who were both around 12, I think, both boys, ran after me because they were worried about what was going on. They didn't know what was going on, so they followed me around behind the tent and saw me standing there with my pants down. And I screamed at them, "Get out!" And then I crawled into the back part of the tent and took my pants off and made sure the green ant was out. And my mum then came in and made sure that I was okay. But I had 7 bites on my bum from a green ant, and I really hate green ants now. I have to kill them if I see them. Yes, that was a bit terrifying, but I guess funny for the people who witnessed it. Are there any special things you kept from when you were a child? I kind of kept a lot of things that I had written as a child, like stories and letters to my family, and I kept a lot of gifts from like my grandparents from overseas and that sort of thing, but I didn't really keep a lot of sentimental stuff apart from that. But this is the one thing that I did keep, my baby brush and baby comb. I don't know why I'm keeping them because they're disgusting and there's no way I'll, use them on my baby. But yeah, they're just something cute and they are quite sentimental to me. So, what was something weird you used to do as a child? I couldn't really think of anything really weird with this one. I used to play, lava on the ground where you had to jump from sofa to sofa with my siblings, and when my sister and I used to hide under the covers of my parents' bed and we'd play Dark or Die. Basically, we had to try and cover up the covers so that it was so dark under the covers, or we would die. I don't know. What's the scariest thing you remember that happened to you when you were a child? Just, I guess, things like when you had to go outside at night and you ran up the stairs because you were afraid there was something coming after you, or I was often really scared, going to bed at night, scared of the monsters under the bed. I couldn't stand having the sheets off my body. I needed them on my body. Even in the summer I would be boiling, but I had to have the sheets up over me. One particular thing that scared me, I remember we were at my grandparents' place for a holiday, and one night I could hear mosquitoes buzzing around my head, and I couldn't see them obviously because it was dark, but yeah, I could hear them and I was so scared, but there was no one else in the room with me. I couldn't call my parents or anything. So I just spent the night with my sheets up over my head because I was terrified that mozzies were going to bite me all over my face. So that was really scary at the time. Probably not so scary now. How is the world now different from how it was when you were a child? Basically, I would say it's less magical. Because I had such an amazing imagination, everything was, I believed in magic. I believed that one day I would get some powers and be able to, turn the fan on or turn the light on just by looking at it. And I really believed in that sort of magical, mystical, existence. And obviously I don't anymore. The world is, I guess, scarier. You realise how many more dangers are out there than you really do when you're a kid, and I remember feeling a lot safer when I was a child because I trusted that everything was always going to be okay, and now I know that it's not, because people get killed, people, you can't go out in the streets and feel completely safe anymore, and I think that's really sad. So that's the end of the questions. I hope that's helped to learn a little bit more about me. I'll leave the questions in the comments section, the description box below. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!